Hey everyone, how are you? My name is Alvaro. Well, you might be like seeing a lot of things currently about me and so on because of all these super cool things that we are doing. But that's the whole thing. Like nobody really knows like what I'm doing. Like many people know that I like dance and I cook, and I sometimes speak in events and so on. But what happens is that there is not really much information about like what's all this about and what kind of things I actually am talking about. What's up, guys? Welcome to the podcast where we discuss things about modern life and all the things that are happening right now. Of course, started with the nomad travel and all those. Most of you know me probably for Instagram or different platforms, but not many of you really know what I'm doing. So because of that, we've created this space in which I'm going to basically answer questions to people about who I am, about what are the things that we believe on, and what are those things that we are doing in Circolo to change the world. So you've been asking me a lot of questions and I have them all listed here in my notes. Let's go to the first of the questions that many of you have been actually asking me about, and it's like, what is it that you do? Well, ladies and gentlemen, turns out that 3 years ago I started traveling the world because I wanted to connect people. The whole idea that this was born from is from the idea that many people actually want to make an impact, but not all the people know how to. And this was the whole vibe behind it. And so I created this project that is called Together Podemos, that I started with these bracelets that say together we can change the world. And the whole aim was to sell these bracelets in $2 to people online and also in the physical life, and to just go to 8 countries at the beginning. At the beginning it was only 8 countries in 50 days. Imagine that whole thing. And the whole idea was to finance that selling bracelets in $2. But along the trip, I started meeting amazing people. I remember how many stories I met, in fact, in the 48 days, because this was a whole journey of 50 days, I've achieved already the 8 countries and I've delivered more than 2,000 bracelets. Long story short, because of that thing, I ended up invited to talk in places, right? With my friends, so with people who wanted to hear. There was this occasion in which I was invited to talk to some people, the Colombians who were studying in Harvard University and then in MIT and then in different places. And this is when the trip became something global, and ended up being a whole journey of 1 year, 12 months, traveling to 64 countries. I delivered more than 8,000 bracelets. I even delivered 1 bracelet to the Pope Francis, to Mohammed Yunus, that is a Nobel Prize winner, to another 2 Nobel Prize winners, and people in different places, in Oxford, the Higher School of Economics in Russia, more than 20 top universities around the world. After that, I wrote a first book that is called The Red Thread, and it's all about the whole journey that was for 1 year, traveling to 64 countries with no money, or no more money than the bracelets that I was selling in $2, 100% financed with that. And then right after, I wrote my second book about entrepreneurs from the Global South. This motivated me to create something that was more about saying, or more about just talking with people about things. And it's a company that's called Circolo. So Circolo is basically the evolution of Together Podemos. And this company stands for quality, for making people aware of living a lifestyle without sacrificing, having fun and having nice interactions with people, but as well connecting them as a community. So that's why we offer products in 3 segments that are basically the hospitality industry, offering stays in different parts of the world, the fashion industry, offering them clothes made of recycled plastic bottles, organic cotton, or made by communities, or made with the purpose of supporting causes that are important, and as well, of course, managing entertainment or events in places where people who want and who doesn't want to change the world can come and have fun. That's basically what we do, and that's basically what this is all about. So it's very funny because most of the people don't really know how to label me, because they always see I'm dancing or I'm cooking or I'm doing things. And my whole theory is that we can actually live our lives in a way that doesn't need to be so rigid. We don't need to fall into a square or in a frame and just pretend that we are entrepreneurs and we are also or always specialized in this, when we have actually so many talents. I believe that we need to be proud of our talents and make sure that talents are spread all across. That's why I decided to create things that can actually supply things for the people in the whole lifestyle that they have, instead of just doing random things about, I don't know, like residential projects, and that's everything as an architect because I studied architecture. And I remember this case in which I met someone who I was traveling with in Costa Rica, and with that person said like, why are you taking like so many, or why are you having so many problems, or assuming so many problems like traveling around the world and so on, like just to tell stories of people. And it's because what I think is that our generation really needs like people who can stand for things that matter and people who can spread their voice. In the past, probably it was like all about like somebody having one voice, and that voice was the voice that would matter, and people will follow that voice. But today it's all about a community. It's all about people like just following their hearts and making sure that they use their talents to spread a positive word, and to change the realities in a positive way. So far, I've traveled to 77 countries. There are going to be soon 80 countries in the next month, and it's very interesting because many people always ask me like, how do you really like copy or like make sure that you don't feel unstable like as you travel, or you like just don't like feel sad or things that are. And what I believe is like we should learn to embrace actually all those things that we are feeling instead of like just hiding. Like we should just embrace the fact that we can be sad, the fact that we can feel sometimes like a failure, the fact that we can feel sometimes that we are alone, and that's fine. That's important. If you feel that and if you value that, you're going to be able to interact in a better way with people and to recognize better the opportunities and the experiences that come. And there was this question about like what countries really changed my life, and I mean, of course, like all the countries were important, but I can definitely list some countries that for me so far and even up to today have been like really important. The first country that comes to my mind is Sudan, and there is a reason why Sudan is so important to me, right? Sudan is a country that in the same way how, for example, many people in the queer scene, or people who are mixed race, or people who come from Colombia in my case, had a lot of stereotypes on it, like right, like when you go to Sudan, or when you tell somebody that you are going to Sudan, people are going to think that you are going to a dangerous place or things like that. Not at all. Sudan is one of the best countries in the world so far. It's a country where I experienced like what hospitality really is, and where I like really feel like home. After traveling so much and after being so tired, I remember how I went from Egypt to Aswan, like from Cairo to Aswan by train. Aswan is a city in the south of Egypt, and then from Aswan I went to Sudan by bus. And as I was going, I met like a crowd of people who will not speak Spanish or will not speak English. They only speak Arabic. And it was so interesting how all of them were really trying to help me. In fact, it's funny because in many countries, of course, when I travel as a Colombian, many people will like tell you these stupid things about like stereotypes that they would watch in Netflix or things like that. But when I was in that bus, the first thing that I heard after I said that I was Colombian is, hey, you are my brother. Colombia is the best country in the world. And I was like, what? I mean, how did I hear that? Well, basically that guy had Google Translator and he was translating everything I was trying to say. And from the moment when I arrived to Sudan till the moment when I left Sudan after being there over a month, I spent only $20. And that's basically because of all the hospitality of people. I never paid for staying. I didn't even pay for transport. Like, to say everything, the day when I arrived to Wadi Haifa or in Sudan, they actually pay for my hotel. They actually pay for my food. They pay for everything, even though I was saying, no, please don't, please don't, please don't. They didn't allow me to pay for anything. And that's something that I will always stay in my mind, because I believe that generosity really exists, and if it exists, it's in Sudan. The second country that really changed me is Kenya, where I'm currently. And it's because, you know, in Kenya, this is a story that some of you know, and that probably I'm going to tell you in the next episode. But in Kenya, I was kidnapped the first time I came. And I was super scared. Like for over 2 months, I had to go to therapy. I was scared of staying in places with balconies, or of sharing with people, talking to people again, like trying to hang out, to share, to interact. And after I went to Uganda and I was trapped by COVID for over 6 months, and I came back to Kenya, let's say made it for all the things that I experienced the first time, and just became my home. It's a country that really gave me amazing friends, gave me a family, I could say. of people from all over the world, especially people from Kenya and from Nigeria. My best friends, or some of my best friends, are here. Some of the people I love the most are here. And that's something that you can't pay or you can't buy with anything. But most of that is the place where my company really started growing. And that's something that I really appreciated. So why Kenya? Because of this is the second fucking best country in the world after Colombia. And I just said that Colombia is the first, not only because I'm Colombian, but also because my mom is there and all my family is there. So my heart is split in two parts, and that's why I'm here.